This is not a great video that I'm making. It's really perfunctory, just basic explanation and demonstration of installing the aftermarket auxiliary plug and the other. There's three components that need to be installed. The plug, uh, uh, like a splitter, because I wanted to have a secondary auxiliary power supply I'm going to use for auxiliary lights. And then there's also this fused um, part that you need to put in the back under the seat. So I demonstrate putting all those in. The video is really bad. This is not great video making, but it just can show somebody how to put the auxiliary plug in. If you buy it from 3D Cycle Parts. I'm not sure about the OEM version of this plug. It's probably very similar to this, but I haven't actually seen the OEM one, so I'm just showing this aftermarket install. So first up, used 5mm hex to take out the two machine screws on the dash. You're going to see immediately after this was my first and really biggest mistake is I ended up pulling the dash off. It has 4 grommets inside, and it also has two. Okay, actually here, this is important. The sides of the dash have a little hook on the plastic that needs to be like released from the sides. And here I am trying to remove the dash now, and I did not take the 2 push rivets out. Struggling with it, showing you my mistake. And here I actually I broke one of them doing what I just did there. So the push rivets are down on the bottom. You can see them in the video. I come back to it later and I'll show you where they are. The connection for the actual display has a dust cover and a 24-pin connector that needs to be released. Okay, so now I am pulling there's a dust cover on the auxiliary plug that's coming from the under the seat to this place. You got to get the dust cover off. It was kind of challenging to figure out like which part of the dust cover to press to be able to release it. Finally, I got it. Keep the dust cover. At least I did. I ordered the the 2-lead auxiliary plug here. One that I'm going to use for auxiliary lights and the other one for the USB power. Well, it's a cigarette lighter, but it's for the auxiliary power. That plugs in there. Then I put the dust cover. I don't have the auxiliary lights yet, so I put the dust cover on the connector we'll use for the lights later. The 2-lead power supply was kind of long, so I got some zip ties that I zip tied it with. So this is the auxiliary power, like the cigarette lighter. Here I am just kind of thinking about like how this is supposed to go together. So obviously you need to attach the plug to the dash before you plug it all in, because you've got the keeper nut on the back side that needs to be installed before you plug all the cables together. So the little rubber stopper there just pops right out, and then the auxiliary plug feeds in. I needed to, like, it was a very tight fit, so I ended up kind of threading it down into the dash. The rubber cap on it will just twist around any direction you want. So here's the keeper nut going on the back side. I just finger tightened everything. It's all plastic, so it's not like I was going to throw a pair of channel locks on there. Okay, there is the push rivets that I'm discovering I did not take out. Whoops. So I did end up removing them. One of them broke, like it just got broken when I took them out. There I am. I'd taken them out. You have to push the center in to get them to release on the backside. Uh, so the loose cable, I didn't like that thing hanging out there, so I end up putting a zip tie on it here. I think I do that next. Yeah, I think I only put one zip tie on the set of cables. It was fine. It's about 4 or 5 inches of cable that was kind of dangling there. I just wanted to like tidy it up. And here I am putting the dash back together. To be honest, I had put it together and I pulled it off again because I wanted to take measurements of the the two brackets that hold the windshield on. I'm thinking about remaking those, milling for a phone mount, like redo those so they extend, over the dash for a phone mount. Never mind, that's another project. So this thing has these 4 grommets that have to be pressed in. Here I am putting one of the uh, push rivets that I did not break back in. You have to push the rivet so it's sticking out. The center's sticking out when before you put the rivet in, and then you push the center in to have it keep itself in. I think it's kind of self-explanatory if you play with one. And then the two hex head screws back in. Um, I'll say this: those keeper rivets, once they were removed, the 4 grommets that hold the dash on came out easily. Um, I'd actually seen the video from 3D Cycle Parts when they put their auxiliary lights on. They kind of ran this video that didn't exactly do the plug that we're doing here, but I did see them take those rivets out. So I had seen it, but I just forgot about it when I was doing it. I was distracted. The motorcycle's on the 6th floor of a building where I have an art studio, and during the course of making the video, I had several interruptions from people walking up and down the hall and talking to me and whatnot. So um, I got distracted pretty easily. I could ever only like kind of video for a couple minutes without getting interrupted by somebody. Also, I would say here to make sure that the sides of the dash, those two little wings that kind of fit under the plastic on the sides, goes back in properly. You got to kind of push it around. Here I am. I started it up just to make sure I didn't get any errors reading, with what I just did. Um, in fact, I had done this, what you're seeing now, before I started it up. I kind of went out of sequence with the video here, but this is me putting in the I don't know what they call this, the auxiliary fuse. There's a this plug you have to put in on the auxiliary power. There's a dust cap on a connector back here that you need to plug this. It's got two, because I have a double accessory plug. There's actually two 10-amp fuses built into this thing I just plugged in. It's kind of under the tool wrap there. I also ended up putting a zip tie in that, so it's not flapping around back there. Um, Interesting, I don't know what I'm going to do for a heated grip. I'd like to get a heated grip. I guess, what do you do? Three-way auxiliary plug in the front? I don't know what's going to come of that when I get around to getting that. And there I am.